The history of Belarus dates back to ancient times. It is believed that the region was inhabited as early as the 9th century BC by East Slavic tribes. Archaeological evidence reveals a rich material culture, including pottery, ornaments, and burial sites. The East Slavic tribes laid the foundation for Belarusian culture and language. Medieval Belarus. The medieval history of Belarus is marked by a series of invasions and occupations. In the 9th century, the region fell under the influence of the Varangians, followed by the establishment of the Kievan Rus. This period saw the spread of Orthodox Christianity, which has remained a significant aspect of Belarusian culture. In the 13th century, Belarus endured the Mongol invasion, leading to a period of fragmentation. By the late medieval period, the Grand Duchy of Lithuania emerged as a dominant power in the region, incorporating Belarus into its vast territory. This era saw the coexistence of various ethnic and religious groups, laying the groundwork for Belarusian multiculturalism. Union of Lublin, 1569. One of the pivotal moments in Belarusian history occurred in 1569 with the signing of the Union of Lublin, which united the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and the Kingdom of Poland into the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. This union marked the beginning of a close relationship between Belarus and Poland, which would last for centuries. Belarusian identity and culture. Despite centuries of Polish-Lithuanian rule, Belarusians managed to preserve their distinct cultural identity. This included the development of the Belarusian language, which began to emerge as a distinct Slavic dialect. Belarusian culture thrived through folk traditions, music, and literature. The 18th century and partition. The 18th century brought significant changes to Belarus. The region became a battleground during the Great Northern War, leading to the division of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth between Russia, Prussia, and Austria in the late 1700s. Belarus was split between the Russian Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia, marking the beginning of a long period of foreign domination. Russian Empire and Russification. Under Russian rule, Belarus underwent a process of Russification. The Russian Empire suppressed Belarusian culture and sought to assimilate the population into Russian identity. Despite these efforts, Belarusians maintained their distinct heritage, often in secret. World War I and independence. World War I provided a window of opportunity for Belarus to assert its independence. Amid the chaos of war, the Belarusian People's Republic was declared in 1918. However, its existence was short-lived, as it fell to both German and Soviet forces. In 1922, Belarus became a founding member of the Soviet Union as the Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic. World War II and the tragedy of Belarus. World War II brought immense suffering to Belarus. The region endured brutal Nazi occupation, with the capital, Minsk, being reduced to rubble. Belarus suffered tremendous loss of life, including mass executions and the destruction of entire villages. The war left an indelible scar on the Belarusian psyche and landscape. The post-war era and Soviet Belarus. After World War II, Belarus was rebuilt under Soviet rule. The Soviet government prioritized industrialization, leading to the growth of cities like Minsk as industrial hubs. Belarus became an integral part of the Soviet Union, contributing to its military and economic power. Chernobyl disaster and environmental impact. In 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear disaster in neighboring Ukraine had a profound impact on Belarus. A significant portion of Belarus was contaminated by radioactive fallout, resulting in long-term health and environmental consequences. The Chernobyl tragedy also played a role in shaping public consciousness and political activism. The dissolution of the Soviet Union. The late 1980s and early 1990s brought significant political change to Belarus. With the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Belarus declared its independence in 1991. The nation adopted a new flag and coat of arms, symbolizing its newfound sovereignty. Post-Soviet Belarus and Lukashenko's rule. Since gaining independence, Belarus has been marked by the authoritarian rule of Alexander Lukashenko, who has been in power since 1994. Lukashenko's regime has been criticized for its human rights abuses and lack of political freedoms. The country's political landscape remains polarized, with periodic protests against the regime. Belarus in the 21st century. In recent years, Belarus has faced significant challenges, including economic hardships, political turmoil, and strained relations with neighboring countries, particularly Russia. The 2020 presidential election in Belarus sparked widespread protests and international condemnation, highlighting the ongoing struggle for democracy and human rights.
The history of Belarus is a complex narrative of resilience and endurance. Despite centuries of foreign domination and challenges, Belarus has managed to preserve its unique culture and identity. Today, the nation stands at a crossroads, grappling with questions of political freedom, economic stability, and its place in the modern world. As Belarus continues to evolve, its history remains a testament to the strength and determination of its people.